entertaining part because you get to see engineers strut their stuff and then see them strut the wrong stuff too. So I just wanted the panel of judges to go ahead and introduce themselves. They'll be commenting on what's right and what's wrong with our model's attire. So go ahead.
Kathy Ranji, BA Systems.
Nancy Ting, we are an online fashion magazine. It's called Mode Republic.
I'm Shereen McBain, also for Mode Republic.
David Harrison, my wife made me do this. Right there.
But we wanted a guy's opinion so that the guys also get something out of this. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're starting with business casual East style attire. So come on out.
You're supposed to be applauding.
There we go.
Alright, judges, so what do you think of our business casual East?
I think it looks great, actually. One thing about the East Coast, and because I work in a bank before, I work at Morgan Stanley in investment banking, so the most conservative environment. One thing I think is really good is that the skirt is never too long. Never too short. And then the other thing about the shoes, always wear closed-toe shoes, and never show your toes, and never show even the sling back. That's too much for the East Coast. So that's what I think I do. But I think it looks great.
One thing to think about when you're wearing jackets, button them. When you're sitting down, it's perfectly okay to unbutton, but when you stand up, women, it's a little more casual than with men, but generally if you're wearing the coat, close it when you stand up, right? Relax when you sit down, but when you stand up, it's time to put it all back together and be all that you can be. Now go be all that you can be.
Alright, thank you, Dina and Evan. Up next, we'll see business casual West Coast style, the one that we all like. Alright?
I love is an iron. There is nothing worse than someone who's casual who says, I don't want to iron. Casual doesn't mean that I'm sloppy. So in both cases, you've got people who are well-pressed, well-groomed. Always use your iron. If you don't know how to iron, learn. If you don't want to learn, make friends do dry cleaning. But don't show up looking like your clothes are pressed with a rock, because people will judge you. I will judge you.
So what's different about West Coast style versus East Coast style, in y'all's opinion?
I will keep talking.
West Coast style is a little bit less conservative. You can get away with a little bit more. And I also think East Coast style in general, it's a lot darker in the tone, whereas West Coast style is more relaxed. There's more of the neutrals, more of like the khaki colors or the beige.
The thing to remember though is there's casual and then there's going to the gym, going to a party, all right? The two are not synonymous. You want to still look professional. So professional means you still wear a collared shirt. You still tuck your shirt in. You're still wearing a belt. You're not wearing Tevas. You're not wearing Birkenstocks. Yes, some people do that, but generally they're either so high up that they don't have to care, or they're so far down that it doesn't matter anymore. So much better to look like the majority than try and stand out with your clothes. If you go to the office, don't let your clothes be what makes you stand out. Let it be your work.
We want to see what you're supposed to wear to an interview. So we're going to do business formal, and this is definitely the don't of business formal. How do our models look for their first interview?
I'm going to go back with what I said originally. Don't let your clothes speak for you. I love body jewelry. I love a freaky person. Freaks are cool, right? Who doesn't love a freak? You kind of like staring at them. It's like a car wreck where you just slow down and keep looking. But do you really want people to be looking at you, or do you want people to be listening to you? Don't dress how you feel. Dress who you want to be.
Okay, so like we can start off with the skirt might be a little bit too short, but normal. I would say don't go like just right above the knee and no more, and no slits.
with. That's not a rhyme. What are you talking about? You asked me to be up here.
Better shoes.
They're awesome. For the club.
It's very trendy, I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But just not for work.
Yeah.
And also like the sleeves, her sleeves are up, and that's also kind of trendy, but not for an interview.
Right. And what about Michael's shoes?
Sneakers
With
are
slacks.
appropriate.
Nice.
It's like a laid-back business formal. All right. Well, thank you, Michael and Emily. So let's see what business formal is supposed to look like. So come on down. All right. So how much better are these two than the last two?
Great.
You can actually pay attention to them, right? Because you blend. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but being in a corporate world doesn't mean you stand out. You want to blend in. You want to look like everybody else. One thing to think about, don't put your hands in your pockets. That's body language. And body language tells you I'm either insecure, I'm uncomfortable, I'm not quite certain I should be standing up here in my suit. I'd much rather be at the bar right now, right?
It's 5 o'clock.
I know!
He tells me this all the time because I will put my hands in my pocket and he's like, Danny, you look
Hands out.
like you're...
Yeah. You look like you don't belong here. You always want to look like you belong. Hands crossed in front, hands crossed behind, hands at your side are all perfectly good solutions, but keep them out of your pockets.
And I was just wondering what colors would be best for business formal?
Gray or blue are the best. If you have a suit, if you're a guy, you should have a blue suit first, then a gray suit. Those are the first two suits you buy. For women, black is a third option, but if you're a guy, black is your third option only because it looks like a tux, right? So you don't want to have a tux as your first option. Navy is always a good solution. Women are the same. Gray is also a good alternative fashion people too.
Yeah, I think that the color that she's wearing right now, like a taupe and also like beige, is also fine for women. It's not, in general, women, it's not, we have more flexibility and we can be more fashionable than guys. So
What about stockings?
Oh, sorry.
What about stockings? Nylon.
Okay, yeah. In general, well, I can speak more about the East Coast, is that in the East Coast you should be wearing them. It's always, if you look at the very conservative route, like for instance, especially in Europe, ladies always wear stockings. Otherwise, they actually frown on you, but then they won't show it, but they will know.
Yeah, I was just gonna add that like if you're a small person, if you're petite, you wanna and you have like a pattern on your suit, make sure that it's a small pattern, like a small pinstripe or plaid is okay. But if it's a bold pattern, that's not good for when you have like a small frame.
All right.